What's up, everybody? I'm going to do a recap of the Seeking Sister Wife episode, the first episode of Season 3, Polygamist and Proud. And oh my gosh, I have tried to get into Sister Wives, like the one with Cody and all his wives, and I don't know, I'm not really feeling it. But this Seeking Sister Wives, this is the first time I've seen this, Seeking Sister Wives, the show, and I really enjoyed it. So we have the Mary Fields, is that how you say it? Yeah, Mary Fields, and these two, they met each other when they were young at church, and they got married when they were 18 years old, and they've been married for 13 years, and they have 2 children, which they homeschool both of them, and so the husband said he was reading in the Bible about how some of the men in the Bible had multiple wives. So he said that he wants to be like God and Christ-like, and he thinks that's what God would want, is having multiple wives. So he says, they want to find another wife. And somebody even commented and said, my man really said living plural marriage is a great way to follow Christ and be like him. He didn't even have one wife. And someone said, I thought Christ said one man, one wife. And Abby said, yes, ma'am, he did. Just thought it was funny. This poor deluded guy thinks he's being like Jesus, having plural wives when Jesus wasn't even married. And I think that's a good point. So they met this woman named Roberta on an international polygamist dating website, and this girl does not speak English, Roberta, and they don't speak Portuguese, the English that she speaks, so they have to use a translator when they talk to her, like on video chat. But they went to Cabo and spent 9 days with Roberta, and Garrick got on one knee and proposed to Roberta. And so now they want to try to get Roberta over to the United States, but the only way they can do that is if Garrick and Danielle get a divorce. So they start signing their divorce papers and getting the paperwork all ready so they can divorce to get Roberta over here to marry Garrick. That's crazy to me. I had to keep asking myself if I was watching 90 Day Fiancé or Sister Wives, because it seems like 90 Day Fiancé, because they're all trying to find people from different countries and get them on a visa over here. But then again, it's TLC and it's the same producers as 90 Day Fiancé. But I think that's a terrible idea for them being married to 13 years and them divorcing so Roberta and Garrick can get married and they can be sister wives, because what if Garrick passes away? That leaves Danielle with nothing. That means Roberta is going to get everything that Garrick's worked his whole entire life for. Or Garrick could just run off with Roberta and leave Danielle with nothing and leave her stuck with the kids, and she's absolutely screwed. I don't think that's a good idea whatsoever, but hey, I guess whatever floats your boat and makes you happy. Let's just hope that's a long-term thing, or it's going to end up being super messy. Next, we have the Snowdens, which consist of Dimitri and Ashley, and they have 3 kids. They live in LA, and they've been married for 12 years. And they said they don't practice polygamy for religious reasons. But 2 years ago, they met this lady named Vanessa online. They flew to see her, and after 9 days, Dimitri got on one knee and proposed to her, and they had a beautiful wedding in California at a winery. They flew all of Dimitri's family in, all of Ashley's family, and all of Vanessa's family in, and had a wedding. And then Dimitri and Ashley renewed their vows, and they said they're like on top of the world, and everything was going great. And then all of a sudden, Vanessa went to Seattle for her birthday, and then she texted them and said she wanted to conclude the relationship. So what they think is she went to Seattle and had some time and thought about it and just thought that this whole polygamy thing wasn't for her. Last they knew, Vanessa had moved to Australia with her sister, and oh my gosh, I gotta say, their dresses and his suit are everything, especially Vanessa's dress right here. That is so cute. But now they have found a new potential sister wife online at another international polygamous dating website. They found this lady named Christy Lynn, but they call her Chrissy for short. She has 2 daughters, and she lives in Africa. And so they only talk through video chat with a translator and through text. And they're actually flying her to LA. This is her first time out of South Africa, and she's coming to LA to come visit them. And they're very nervous about it, but excited at the same time. And I'm excited to see that because in the next episode, we are going to see her land and them meet and all that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And next we have Sidian and Tasha. So Sidian has some kids of his own, but Tasha has no kids. And Tasha and Sidian actually met at the workplace. And oh my gosh, he must have a big D, or he must be doing her real good, because she's just looking at him like, oh my goodness, you're my air, and without you I can't breathe. But Tasha had a crush with Sidian from the very beginning, and Sidian could tell that she had a crush on him, and he had a crush on her, but he was married at the time. But him and his first wife were actually looking for a sister wife, because Sidian had a friend who was in a polygamist relationship, and he realized that it's more support in the house, more family in the house. If someone's in need, there's more adults in the house to help support each other, and just more love to go around all together. And then everything was good for the first 6 months, since Sidian's first wife had second thoughts and just decided that the polygamist lifestyle wasn't for her. So Tasha backed off. She moved out. She gave the couple a couple months to get it all figured out. And she thought she wasn't going to come back around again. She thought it was over. Well, Sidian and his first wife, their marriage fell apart. She moved out, and Sidian got full custody of the kids. And he ended up calling Tasha back, and Tasha moved back in because they couldn't keep away from each other. And you can tell that they really do love each other. But now they want to start trying to find a sister wife for both of them. Tasha still has to let her whole family know she's polygamist, so I'm sure we're going to see this sometime in this season when she comes out to her family that she's polygamist. And also, is this dude wearing eyeliner? I had to take a double take at this. And next we have the Clarks, which that consists of Gerard, Kayla, and Vanessa, and he's like the king and they're the two queens, but he says they're not swingers. You know, it's just him having two wives. Like, the wives don't do anything with each other. It's just like each wife with Gerard. And Gerard, he's a special education teacher, and he's also a fitness trainer. And him and Vanessa, that's his first wife, and they met 10 years ago when he was in the military, and he kept haggling her for her phone number, and she finally gave it to him, and then they ended up getting married later on down the road. And he met the other one, Kaylee, met Gerard at this club. Like, Gerard had this friend who owned a club, and Kaylee was working the door and, like, you know, deciding who gets to come inside the club. And he's like, hey, I get to get in for free. This is my homie's club. And she's like, nobody gets in for free. You're not on the list. And then she found out that he was supposed to get in there, and that they both had the same friend. And then they ended up starting to see each other. And, you know, now it's been this little union between the three of them ever since. And he says that he found out the idea about having multiple wives because he was reading about a king who had multiple queens, and so that's how he likes to think of his life, as he's the king and how has different queens, and every queen plays a different part in the kingdom. And Tehran introduced the whole idea of having another wife to his wife 6.5 years in their marriage. They'd been married for 10 years. And at first she's like, no way. And then when she met Kaylee, she changed her mind and she was all down for it. Now Kaylee, Vanessa, and Gerard are all moving into a home that's closer to Gerard's work. It's a nice home. But now there's tension going on between all three of them, and they're trying to sort it all out. And they asked Kaylee where she stood with the family at the time, and she said it's complicated, it's hard to explain, but, you know, they're just not doing very good at all right now. So Gerard and Vanessa are going to try to, you know, make it all better so they don't lose Kaylee in the relationship. What did you guys think of this episode of Seeking Sister Wives? I'm excited for this season because this season looks like it's going to be a good one. But like I said, I kept thinking I was watching 9 Day Fiancé the whole time. How they're all trying to find people overseas.
Hey, this is Shane from WeTV's Love After Lockup and Life After Lockup. Make sure you hit like and subscribe to the #1 YouTube channel, according to Amber, where she covers all the hottest reality TV tea.